In the headlines, bandits abduct speaker's father, stepmother, uncle, and 2 others. 1 killed, 5 injured in Maiduguri church demolition. Governor Ganduje Okorocha dismiss secession agitation, insists on Nigeria's indivisibility. And on the foreign scene, Sudan court sentenced paramilitary officers to death for killing protesters. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba. Thank you for joining us. Here's the news in details. Suspected armed bandits have abducted the father of the Speaker of Zamfara State House of Assembly, Nasiru Muazu, Magarya Daily Trust gathered. The armed men also kidnapped the Speaker's stepmother, uncle, and 4 others in a raid to his community, Magarya, in Zurmi local government area of Zamfara State. The Speaker is representing Zurmi East in the Assembly. A lawmaker representing Zurmi West in the State Assembly, Salihu Zurmi, told Daily Trust that the armed men invaded the community in the evening. Daily Trust correspondent Shehu Umar, who is presently in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, gives us an update.
The community is the hometown of the Speaker of the State House of Assembly and has been suffering series of attacks in the last few months. The armed bandits abducted the Speaker's biological father, his stepmother, and an uncle, including 4 others. Even last January, the armed men had attacked the community, cutting away herds of cattle, torching residential houses, and food stores. The police said they have deployed special operatives and are currently on the trail of the kidnappers to ensure safe return of all the victims. The State House of Assembly is yet to release, to issue a press statement or make any comment to that effect.
Now, at least 1 person is shot dead and 5 others sustained injuries as Borno Geographic Information Service demolished a church at Maduganari area of Borno State. Staff of the agency were said to have stormed the community in the morning with a grading truck, bringing down the worship center without notifying owners of the church. While residents of the community tried to get reasons for their action, the civilian joint task force attached to the agency allegedly shot in the air to dispatch them, resulting to the killing of 1 person and 5 others injured. The State Police Command and the agency are yet to comment on the incident. Still on security matters, the police command in Jigawa has confirmed the death of a 13-year-old boy, Zayana Garba, who drowned in an open water in Auyo local government area of the state. The command's police public relations officer, ASP Lawan Shisu, confirmed the incident to newsmen in Dutse on Thursday. Shisu said that the deceased, a resident of Makirai village, got drowned in the water while bathing after working on farm. The PPRO said that on receipt of the information, the police rushed to the scene and recovered the corpse. According to him, the remains of the deceased has since been handed over to his relatives for burial, as no foul play was suspected in connection with his death. Now, a total of 19 Boko Haram ISWAP fighters have surrendered to Nigerian military troops at the Forward Operational Base, Banki Junction, Bakops in Bama, Borno State on 2nd of August 2021. The Director, Army Public Relations, Onyema Nwachukwu, disclosed that the troops, comprising members of their families, numbering 19 adult females and 49 children, were from Njimia village and environs. Some of the firearms recovered from the terrorists include 8 AK-47 rifles, 1 general-purpose machine gun, 2 Fabric National rifles, 1 Dane gun, 1 Makarov pistol, 89 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, among others. The Nigerian Customs Service has intercepted pangolin scales and elephant tusk on the eastern side of Ijoma Street, Lekki, Lagos State, worth over 22 billion naira as part of efforts towards mitigating deforestation and depletion of wildlife. The Controller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, retired, said the seizure is in line with Section 63 E and G of Customs and Excise Management Act, Cap 45, LFN 2004 as amended. The seizure also falls under Export Prohibition Schedule 6 of the Extant Common External Tariff, which prohibits their exportation. Now, on political matters, the People's Democratic Party's Board of Trustees holds an emergency meeting on Thursday, seeking ways on how to resolve the crisis in the party. The meeting, held at the party's national headquarters in Abuja, follows reports of grumblings in the party and the resignation of 7 of its national officers under controversial circumstances. The chairman of the Board of Trustees, Senator Walid Jubrin, had earlier spoke to TrustTV on the development via phone call.
While it is very usual for our party and our the highest body of advisory, the BTP, to meet from time to time. We are going to meet in order to revisit the problems coming up in our party. It's not meeting for the 7 members only. It's for us to look at the whole issue of various campaign or members of the party also, and including governors and so on, and then correct so many mistakes which were fallen into. And I'm sure we're making all efforts to ensure that we will discover the causes, make amendments with a view of our party living in a strong and better way than it is functioning now. And we are optimistic that we are going to achieve our aims.
Now, Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and former Governor of Imo State Rochas Okorocha believe that Nigeria's unity will be maintained despite secession agitation in some sections of the country. The two leaders speak at a lecture in Abuja towards strengthening a united and indivisible country. TrustTV's Nafisa Abdul-Al reports.
By the situation of the country, Nigeria has in recent times been overwhelmed by secessionist agitation. Worried by the situation of the country, Governor of Kano State Abdullahi Ganduje says separation of the country will only lead to conflict as Nigeria cannot afford another civil war. He reiterated that agitation of secessionists is not the solution to challenges faced in the country.
Can we afford another civil war? Nigeria as one indivisible nation, is there hope? I think that's all. Unity and the indivisibility of Nigeria is a reality. Sustaining Nigerian unity and development.
Senator Rochas Okorocha, who represents Imo West Federal Constituency, was in agreement with the governor's call for peaceful dialogue, adding that once Nigeria is able to resolve issues of hunger and insecurity, she will command the respect of other nations.
The injustice of stomach and other injustices of number 2. Every leader that emerges in this country must treat Nigeria as a family. Must never show segregation of any sort.
Patriotism, peaceful dialogue and nationalism are the theme of the event. Nafisa Abdul-Al, TrustTV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust TV News Update, and coming up after the break. Federal government urges National Association of Resident Doctors to return to negotiating table. Details and more coming shortly.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
My name is Samuel Dada.
Yakubu Isa, ana mana kabi da jeje.
Aminu Musa.
A wannan harkar ce muke dan samun abinci, an muke taimaka mu wasu da yawa.
Looking for private jobs. Sometimes you get employed and the process of payment, you undergo some kind of stress.
Thanks for staying with us, and this is Trust TV News Update. Now let's have another look at some of our top stories. At least one person was shot dead and 5 others sustained injuries as Borno Geographic Information Service demolished a church at Maduganari area of Borno State. Plus, the People's Democratic Party's Board of Trustees held an emergency meeting on Thursday seeking ways on how to resolve the crisis in the party. Moving on now, the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Oluruningbe Mamora, has appealed to the leadership of the National Association of Resident Doctors to return to the negotiating table to address outstanding issues. The minister made the appeal at the opening ceremony of the 2021 Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference of the Nigeria Medical Association FCT chapter in Abuja. The report.
The theme of the 2021 conference is improving the quality of healthcare services in the FCT during emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases. Mamora said discussing with the association and negotiating on ways to address the issues raised would foster industrial peace to enable citizens to access the healthcare they needed.
Industrial peace in the health sector, so that the citizens can reap maximum benefit from your efforts.
NARD embarked on a nationwide indefinite strike on August 2nd to press home the implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding it entered with the federal government in March 2021.
There cannot be a better time and opportunity for me to appeal to doctors who are currently on strike. My appeal is that they return to the negotiating table so that whatever issues that are outstanding can be sorted out. That is my passionate appeal to all our colleagues. Even in situation of war, the combatants, at the end of the day, they still come to the round table for amicable resolution of issues.
Mamora reiterated the federal government's commitment to address emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases, including efforts to expand healthcare coverage in the country.
President Muhammadu Buhari is taking all necessary steps to strengthen Nigeria's preparedness and response to emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases through the provision of necessary medical infrastructure in the country. One of these efforts is making medical oxygen available in all the tertiary health institutions in the country.
The minister noted that primary healthcare facilities, which are the closest facilities to communities, has become the weakest links in the healthcare delivery system due to their ineffectiveness to provide the health services needed.
The Federal Ministry of Health is currently developing telemedicine and intends to maximize its use to expand healthcare coverage in the country. The government is therefore making concerted efforts at changing this undesirable narrative. The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, in collaboration with stakeholders, has developed simple messages to aid infectious disease detection at the community level, and the primary healthcare workers are also trained on clinical case detection.
Earlier, Dr. Enema Modu, the chairman, NMA FCT chapter, said lack of political will, poor funding, poor infrastructure and paucity of specialized personnel were the major hindrances to development in the primary healthcare system in Nigeria. According to him, the meeting aims to critically investigate the challenges and how to address them.
And if we had adhered to done what we're supposed to do in terms of immunization, vaccination, maybe the effects of the COVID-19 may not have been so much. And also strengthening the primary health care also will take a lot of load off the secondary and tertiary healthcare institutions. And we also know that the primary health care is where a teeming population of our indigent, underprivileged people have access to. So strengthening it will also intend to, by extension, improve and change the narrative of the health sector for the better.
Stakeholders at the event include Honorable Tanko Sununu, Chairman, House Committee on Healthcare Services, who was represented by Dr. Fatima Meirami, Chief Consultant, Obstetrics and Gynecologist.
Meanwhile, doctors in Kaduna may likely join the strike of the National Association of Resident Doctors as the action enters its fourth day. President of the association in the state, Umar Musa, says resorting to the indefinite strike is the last option because the federal government have failed to implement agreement signed by both parties 3 months ago. Dr. Umar said doctors have not been receiving their salaries for 6 months as when due.
To the government from time immemorial. This has been there for 4 to 5 years now, and then the NAD has been discussing with the government on how to tackle this issue before it reaches this time. If you can recall, 100 days ago, about 100 days ago, that's about 3 months ago, the NAD embarked on the national strike, and there was a memorandum of action that was reached with the federal government. So up to this time, the federal government has not fulfilled its own parts of the memorandum, and that is why we have to resume this indefinite strike.
And now in business news, the Federal Executive Council has approved the sum of $11.17 billion to link all Nigeria's coastal cities by rail in 6 years. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said this after the virtual FEC meeting. Mohammed, while briefing correspondents in the presidential villa, Abuja, said the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, presented 2 memos. He said the memos had to do with federal government's commitment to expand and consolidate the rail project.
On those two routes, and then also another memo that was approved today was ratification of the President's approval for the award of the contract for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Standard Gauge. Today, the Council approved the approval to commence the Lagos-Calabar coastal route. This particular route is very important because after the Lagos-Kano route, this Lagos-Calabar coastal route actually will link all the coastal cities in the country.
Over now to China, where the central parity rate of Chinese currency renminbi, or the yuan, weakened 36 pips to 6.4691 against the US dollar on Thursday, according to the China Foreign Exchange Trade System. In China's spot foreign exchange market, the yuan is allowed to rise or fall by 2% from the central parity rate each trading day. The central parity rate of the yuan against the US dollar is based on a weighted average of prices offered by market makers before the opening of the interbank market each business day. Still on foreign scene, a Sudanese court on Thursday sentenced 6 members of a paramilitary force to death for killing 6 protesters during a 2019 demonstration over food and fuel shortages. The protesters, including 4 school children, were shot dead in July 2019 in the city of Al Obed in North Kordofan, sparking outrage across Sudan. At their trial on Thursday, Judge Muhammad Rama sentenced 6 of the defendants to death, acquitted 2 others, and referred one to a juvenile court as he was under 18. And now, central China's Hubei province reported 9 locally transmitted confirmed COVID-19 cases on Tuesday. The provincial capital, Wuhan, is once again tightening prevention and control measures to limit the spread of the virus. The report.
COVID-19 infections have been reported in more than 14 provinces over the past month. Hubei province, central China, recorded 3 new locally transmitted cases and 6 asymptomatic patients Monday, according to the Provincial Health Commission. These newly confirmed patients were among the 7 people who returned positive COVID-19 nucleic acid tests the day before. The initial 7 all work at the Wuhan Economic and Technological Development Zone. Now, in order to curb the COVID-19 resurgence, the nearby communities are closed. Medical workers have been giving the residents nucleic acid tests from last night. Wuhan is also planning to start citywide COVID-19 tests within a shortest time. One of the first discovered cases had been in close contact with a tour group from Jiangsu province, which is among the places where the latest outbreak has been traced to. The other 6 cases were in close with this individual. All those who have tested positive have been sent to hospital for quarantine and treatment, while over 500 people have been quarantined.
我们4点钟就接到了那个网格员的这个通知了，说今天要进行这个核酸检测，所以大家都还挺配合的。我觉得这个措施采取得很及时呀，对于大家来说都有一种保障。
可能来说，大家还是自我防范意识都比较强吧。就一说做核酸的话，大家就是居民也都比较配合，然后我想应该是能够把这个风险给控制住吧。
Wuhan, once the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak in China, gone more than a year without a new case of the virus. Following the citywide testing drive that began in May 2020, the city is now once again tightening prevention and control measures to limit the spread of the virus.
And now in sports news, the police investigating the online racial abuse of England players following the Euro 2020 final against Italy have made 11 arrests so far. Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka were victims of abuse after they missed penalties in the shootout defeat at Wembley in July. The UK Football Policing Unit said of the 207 posts on social media identified as criminal, 123 accounts belong to individuals outside the United Kingdom. A total of 34 accounts have so far been identified as being in the UK, and 11 of these account holders have now been arrested. Now to end the news on a lighter note, former Ghanaian plastics manufacturer Nelson Boateng is turning discarded plastic materials into building bricks. According to him, his bricks not only use up plastic waste but are also more favorable at upholstering homes. Take a look.
I wasn't really happy about what I'm doing, so I was trying to find a way, or I was trying to find a business that is more sustainable, that doesn't go out to pollute the environment, but rather save the environment. The plastics will be crushed and washed semi-dry and then mixed with sand at the proportion of 70% of the sand and 30% of plastics. And we have the capacity of recycling only 3,000 kilos out of the 20,000 kilos they bring to us on a daily basis.
That now brings us to the end of Trust News Update. For more news and latest developments, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media handles. I am Ayubelia. Thank you for watching.